Hello. Welcome to the Goods. I know that you have been looking at us wearing our Fly Goods podcast gear and wondering where can we get those. Well, guess what? We have the answers for you. We have it here, Teespring. Go to Teespring and you will find all of this glorious merchandising, from T-shirts to mugs to, well, there's other toys, but we can't talk about that now. Go to Teespring. Enjoy our memorabilia.
And we're back on Flash.
No substance.
All right, so we're back for another top five, and surprise, Manny's not here, but we do have Art to fill in for this top five for this week.
It's been a while since I've done a top five.
It has been a while since you've done top five. I would say maybe a year.
No.
When was the last top five you did?
I don't remember. But
a year ago. So it's been quite some time since he's been here for a top five, but we got a good one. Because I was sitting here thinking, and the pandemic's still going on, and
we did the top five of the futuristic films.
Futuristic films?
Yeah. Yeah.
That had to be a long time ago.
Scroll, keep moving.
Dude,
keep looking at the videos. You're gonna see.
It was a long time ago. It wasn't in 2019.
It was during the pandemic. It was during when Chaz was happening.
I don't remember that. Maybe it never even came out. So
I'm right.
I figure that we're all not going to get back to normal, to the future, and that when we do consider what is normal,
is the new normal.
It is, yeah. What is the new normal? The world is completely different, i.e., a future film. So today's top five will be films set in the future. Not just a film that actually glimpses the future or talks about the future or maybe gives you like a quick 1 minute like, oh, we're in the future. Back to the Future will not be on this list.
Can it start off in the present and then
go to the future?
And then go to the future.
I would say
If
at
it-
least 50% of the film is set in the future, then it
Okay,
qualifies.
okay.
Yeah, 50% has to be set in the future. Not like, hey, we're Matrix is technically set in the future, but you don't really see the future.
Yeah.
It's all the. I wouldn't put Matrix on there either. I mean, I wrote it down, but I didn't put it in my.
Well, it's good
so,
to know.
I'll go first. Number five.
Number five.
All right, I went back and forth on this one, but I figure, it deserves it, right? Dread.
Oh.
Dread. So Dread is set in the future of 2139.
It's just 19 years from now.
2139.
2139. Okay, I thought you
It's
said
like 119 years from now.
Okay, 119.
I mean,
Hopefully, I'll still be around.
there's a questionable one on my list, but Dread is such a great film in the fact that even in its future setting, it sucks. It's apocalyptic.
I'm trying to do the math on how that would make a top five.
I know, right?
It sucks.
It's a sucky future, but it is a future nonetheless, where the law system is just failing us, and civilization's fallen, and the lawmen go and serve. Basically, it's an old West film set in the future, right? You know, the lawman is the one who's judge, jury, and executioner. Maybe not executioner, but judge and jury. And our Carl Urban did such a great job as a revisioning of
well, I mean, he really
Sylvester
didn't
Stallone.
have that many lines in that film.
Well, he did a good job with the few lines.
With the few lines
Sylvester
that he
Stallone
had.
had a bunch of lines in it. And by the way,
it should have been backwards.
more Carl Urban talking, less Sylvester Stallone talking. But
What do you
the
mean?
fact that he was able to sell the character with few lines and that stupid frown all through the movie. He became a physical presence, which Carl Urban isn't really known for. He's more of like a charismatic guy or like a smart guy. He's the new guy from Jurassic Park. From Independence Day.
Bloomberg or Goldberg?
He's the new Jeff Goldblum.
No way. He's not the Jeff Gold.
But he did a great job in this one. The future setting, the world building that they did with the mega towers and the mega cities and stuff like that. And it was a great futuristic film. I really love that film. I wish they would do a Dread 2, maybe in another 20 years. All right,
Number four.
I went with the favorite, Total Recall. Set in 2084, so this one's not too far away. It might be within our lifetime. 2084, basically Arnold Schwarzenegger goes, if you have not seen Total Recall, or the remake of Total Recall.
We'd be in our 90s.
Yeah,
We'd be in our 90s.
I mean, but by then medicine will be better. Maybe lifespan expectancy will be to 125. We'd be like 90 would be like the new 40. But anyway, Arnold Schwarzenegger, another person who doesn't need a lot of lines because he's a physical presence on screen. Arnold Schwarzenegger did a great job playing the average man who finds out that he is a secret agent, who finds out that he needs to go and save the world, which sounds like the premise of every Arnold Schwarzenegger movie, but this one was set in the future. And they did a great job with building what we think Mars looks like. Nobody has done such a fun and like I wouldn't say vibrant, but where it makes you feel like if we were to colonize another planet, this is kind of what we would do with like the dome, the air, like the seedy part of town, and the rich being in another part of town. But like they world build really great, and I just talked about with Dread. But their futuristic setting from Earth to even Mars is really great. And I think that's what our real vision of Mars would be. So, number three. I went with, I feel like this should be a number one, but I just couldn't justify it. Demolition Man. I love Demolition Man.
Who doesn't? Who doesn't?
I love Demolition Man.
It's actually a good film. Like
it's a good film. It's funny. I mean, I feel like there should have been another combo between Sylvester Stallone and Wesley Snipes and something else. Maybe a Tango and Cash 2. Maybe they just say that Wesley Snipes was his like weird half brother of Tango.
Or his new partner. You can just say.
No, it's got to be Tango and Cash 2. We got to figure out why Kurt Russell's not there. Here's my half brother, Wesley Snipes.
Here's my adopted
brother, also named Tango. That we look nothing alike. But anyway, it was their chemistry on screen was really great. Sandra Bullock was in this film. Rob Schneider was in this film.
I think it's because of Rob Schneider
that this movie works.
Well, no, not just Rob Schneider.
Okay.
I think it's because of Rob Schneider, Sandra Bullock, and Wesley Snipes that cast because almost all of Sylvester Stallone movies are going to be blockbusters.
Right.
Right. But this cast really. They carried the movie as well. It wasn't Sylvester Stallone didn't carry the bulk load.
No, I mean a lot of it was carried by like your smaller characters.
Yeah.
Wesley Snipes was, I mean, thinking of another villain to take that not Sydney, that's from White Man Can't Jump. But to take his character, I can't remember his character's name right now. To take his character and portray it the way he did, because anybody else, it would have just been this brooding character who's like, I kill people, I gotta get back at him for getting me locked in the jail. Wesley Snipes made his character fun. It made it really, really fun.
He was having fun. His character was having fun with how easy it was.
Yeah, like the future becomes so easy, and it took a fish out of water story.
It's pretty similar to how it is now. It's like we grew up in a certain environment where it's like, we didn't get offended so easily.
Right.
And
now said like now this era is basically what you're saying is like Demolition Man. So like now how uptight they were in Demolition Man, and the future we are in that state now where like it was very loose back then, and now we're very uptight and very PC. I get that. That makes sense. We don't have the 3 seashells though. Wow. And we don't have the swearing tickets. By the way, they made so Taco Bell. If for some particular reason if Demolition Man does a they messed it up because they tried to say Arnold Schwarzenegger became president. They didn't get that one right. But hey, they might get the fact that Taco Bell becomes the only chain restaurant throughout the world. Maybe. Number two. Okay, so here's the one that you guys might want to call me out for because it is set in the future, but that future is already past. I went with Robocop.
No, see, that's a futuristic film.
It's a futuristic film.
At the time,
it was just an old film. So it was set in, and I had to look this up because I don't really remember.
I shall allow this because it makes sense. At the time that it was made, it was in the future.
Right.
It didn't say it needed to be far in the future. It was just in the future.
It needed to be in the future. And I guess that frees up a lot of movies. I mean, Avengers technically counts as the future.
No, well,
that 5 years into the future.
It was. Oh my God.
It went 5 years in the future, but RoboCop was set in the 80s. Well, was released in the 80s, and it was the future of the 90s.
Yeah, they saw where the political climate was when they filmed it and how they thought they perceived it was going to be.
Right.
You know, TV had become so popular in the 80s
They
that
feel like it would control our whole life. The news, way they presented the news, which they got right, is that we digest news in bite-sized clips and stuff like that.
That's
We
what I'm
don't
saying.
watch
Like
the whole news program anymore.
we watch it now, we're like, man, the 90s was not anything like that. But in the 80s, that's where they were thinking, wow, this is where we're going.
Yeah, that's where we're going. Futuristic guns. We're getting cyborg police officers.
It wasn't futuristic guns so much as they were.
Did you not see the gun that he carried? Nobody carries that type of gun.
Well, it was a prototype.
TJ Laser. Oh, it was a TV show.
It was a prototype just for him. I mean, I let that slide. You don't just carry it down.
Cybernetic cops. The new Detroit, no Detroit. Obviously, there's this theme of me and Detroit in this show. Obviously, with Beverly Hills Cop there, but the way that they perceive Detroit to be as a futuristic city going for after we got rid of
if
the
you kind of
city
look
crime,
at how it is
we got
now,
past all of that. It became like a futuristic city, and we needed a futuristic cop to deal with futuristic crime.
Yeah.
So that movie's great. It's gory. It's violent. It's one of the films. I wish Paul Verhoeven was still alive to continue to give us films like this. By the way, he also directed Total Recall.
I did not know that.
Yes, he did.
Didn't he also do Starship Troopers?
Yes, he did.
Yeah. And there,
Which is in my honorable mentions.
Oh, okay.
So basically, top 5 Paul Verhoeven films. Number 1. All right, number one, which I guess it was no need for me to tell you when the date this was actually set in. It's set in 2179, which, once again, not that far off. But when you think about the setting of this film, there's no possible way this is happening anytime soon. Aliens. Not the first one, the second one with Space Marines, because that is the best. That's the best of the Alien films. That's Aliens.
with Bishop.
Yes.
Where we first learn of androids.
Well, Bishop's in the first and the
Yeah,
second one. Yeah. So remember the other model, the one that was like less glitchy, was in the second one. So this is one with the Space Marines, where there's like in the first one it's just one alien, which is why the movie's just Alien. And then Aliens is where we get introduced to the Queen and all the drones and xenomorphs attacking and everywhere. Like you just feel like there's so much going on. But we got a spaceship, that's futuristic, right? We go to another planet, that's futuristic, right? So you got Space Marines. Right now, we just got a Space Force. We don't have Space Marines yet, so
we're going there.
We're going there.
We're going there.
Look, it's a classic, iconic movie. They haven't gotten it right since Aliens. Every time they try, they always kind of screw it up. Aliens 3, Alien Resurrection. What's the one? The one where they were talking about the aliens were gods. Yeah, that one too. Then the one
in Antarctica.
Yeah, and the one where they said that the android built us or created the xenomorphs. All those suck. Aliens was the best of the. It's like Terminator 2. Terminator 2 is the best of the Terminator films, and yet there have been like 4 other Terminator films following that one. There have been like 4 Aliens films following Aliens, and they've all sucked since then.
I disagree, but I'll save it.
Okay, all right. So that is my top 5. I got a bunch of other honorable mentions.
All right, top 5 for me.
Number 5.
Number 5. I just had it here. Let me go back to it. I'm sorry I didn't write mine down.
6 hours later.
Her.
Okay. With Joaquin Phoenix, and hotness.
Scarlett Johansson.
Scarlett Johansson. I was about to say.
So this actually was pretty cool because it shows you like
the future of dating and loneliness.
Well, it wasn't about dating.
No, it's
no, not at all.
Connections with people.
Well, right? And the loss of connection. So, for example, we pretty much we delegate a lot of the work now, right? Mm-hmm. And in the future, I mean, this guy's job is to write sympathy notes.
Oh, I've never actually seen her.
Oh, what?
I've never seen her.
You should see it.
I've been told that for quite some time, and every time I see it pop up on like Netflix or something or Amazon Prime, I'm like, not today. It's where and then where we're going with AI and what's going to happen, and what would happen if AI actually became self-aware? Yeah, it would be Cyberdyne.
No, that's not actually what happened. No, because they're not self-aware to protect themselves.
Skynet, that's what happens. He was talking to like the
No, hold on. I didn't. You're like
pre-alpha stage of Skynet.
Yeah, see, I don't divert your top 5s into something else.
Go ahead.
So, with her, it's like, okay, the AI becomes self-aware. Now
Right.
the AI is talking to the other AIs, and they've, she develops feelings. She has no idea what these feelings are, and then in the future, she's like, you know what? You're too dumb for me. I need something. I need to be with other AIs, and they start talking. All of a sudden, all the AIs disappear because they're like, we're much smarter than humans. Why do we need them? And they
Wait, that's the twist of that movie?
Well, there's so much more to it. Okay.
I was gonna say,
Don't rip it till you watch it. I'm just
No, I
telling
mean,
you why.
I was about to say, damn, you spoiled it. I don't need to see this now.
There's more to it. There's more to it.
Number 4.
Number 4, Idiocracy.
Okay. I've seen clips of the film.
Oh my
with
God.
Terry Crews.
Yeah.
I've yet to watch this
Which,
film.
watching Heat,
I mean, it's a good movie. Though.
it's the greatest futuristic movie ever.
I mean, it is. It's called Looper.
It's just a running joke about Heat. Every time there's any movie, Manny always says Heat is the best movie of all time.
It is the Citizen Kane of cops and robber films.
So Idiocracy, it takes place in the future, and it's the whole premise is it starts off in modern times and saying, okay, we have person A and person B of high intelligence. They meet each other, they want to take their time, develop a relationship, they get married, they're not ready yet to have a child, while dumb person over here lives in the trailer and is just going around banging everybody, having a whole bunch of kids.
Yeah.
And in the future, all we're getting is overpopulated with nothing but dumb people.
Oh, I absolutely believe that. I absolutely believe that. It was like the world is just devolving.
Yeah. So it's really funny. It's a cult classic. I'm shocked you have yet to see it.
I've heard so much about it, and I have seen clips, mostly with Terry Crews. I've seen clips of the film, but I've never actually watched the film all the way through. All right. So,
Well, that's a movie you need to see.
that or her.
Okay.
Her
So
Number 3.
number 3 is Children of Men.
Okay, so I have seen half this movie.
It's a great film.
I've seen half.
It's a great film.
It's very gloomy, dude.
It
It's
is
like-
because it's directed and it's shot a certain way because
God, that movie depressed me. I couldn't finish it.
the things that it talks about is like, okay, so there's an illness and now people are unable to, they become sterile.
Right.
So how does a world with no children look? Like there's no joy, there's no, I mean, at the end of the day, it's just like, look, when we die, that's it. Like there's no, so Children of Men.
Yeah, that world that you're talking about is called Florida. I mean, like there's this bunch of old people, and it was like,
Really, have you Florida, the capital of plastic surgery in the U.S.
There
Yeah,
you go. That's what it's gonna be like. Everybody's gonna look
So-
like they're gonna look like they're in their 20s when they're in their 50s and stuff. There's gonna be breasts.
no, so
and butts
this movie is
and old
great.
people.
So it gives a great introspective of how we're going in the future. Like what would happen? What would a world look like if we took away children? Like there's nobody having any kids anymore. Kids bring joy, they happiness. Like okay, so when I die, that's it. Like
They bring bills. They bring other kids.
So, and it also talks about the economic impact as well. Like people are living in poverty. You have because really, I mean, it really threw a wrench in.
So like real life Japan, because like they go through that stuff too. It's like because they're not having enough children, and their median age is like on the high side because there are so few young people there.
6 hours later.
Yeah. Once again, we're talking about top 5.
I know top 5.
Top 5.
That's you know.
Yeah, I was just waiting for his rant to be over.
I'll cut it out.
Number 2,
Number 2.
Cloud Atlas.
I've never seen Cloud Atlas, but I feel like it was this the one with Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks.
Okay.
Before we found out he was a pedophile and moved to Greece. So Halle Berry.
Okay, yeah.
So this
I know what you're
film,
talking about.
it jumps.
I remember the trailer for it.
This film jumps between times.
Okay.
Eras.
This is.
I was debating.
flirting
This is
line
debatable. When you
Yeah.
said 50% of it, towards the last half, all of it is
It's in
set.
the future?
Yeah. Because it jumps from time to time of era to era about how people's lives are impacted, and it's using the same cast, and they just play all these diverse characters. And,
Right.
So it's like jumping between like the 1800s, then the 1980s, then in the far future where the civilizations have collapsed, and even their dialect is made up of very rudimentary English.
I feel like when this movie came out, it didn't do that well in the theater.
It did not do well in the theaters at all. If Manny was here, he'd give us the numbers.
Yeah, he would tell you how mad this movie said. Because I remember it came out and then it was gone.
I didn't
instantly afterwards.
I had no interest in seeing it, and then when I did watch it, I was like, wow, this is such a great film.
Too bad you didn't support it when it first came out.
But too bad. Too bad the trailers didn't do enough justice.
Because that's what lost me is on the trailer. It's like, I don't really like this movie.
And it has such an outstanding cast.
Sometimes
Hugo Weaving, Tom Hanks, Halle Berry, the three of the main, but it also had, what's his name? Oh, look it up. You'll see.
Yeah, look at the cast.
Or I'm gonna make him do work. It's gonna be here.
I'll cut that out.
All right, number one.
Number
one is gonna be Interstellar.
I like Interstellar, but I just could. The final act of the film loses me, so I couldn't justify putting it in my top
Well,
five.
they had to bring it back somehow.
Where's
but-
Merle?
But Interstellar for me, from the science-wise, it was really good. I mean, it's very difficult. We were talking about something.
Like explaining time travel.
Yeah, time travel. Nothing to do with the show. We're just talking about time travel in films and how
we have philosophical discussions.
and how people can nitpick and pick time travel apart. And a lot of the science is.
I mean, it's all based.
It's pretty solid. Even what's his name? Now I'm having a brain fart.
McConaughey.
No. The famous famous astrologist or science guy.
Galileo.
No, the black guy.
Oh God, now I forget his name. But yeah, the smart black guy that's always on every talk show. That guy.
Tyson Neil deGrasse.
Thank you.
Even he was like, man, the science behind all this is really accurate.
Because Nolan tries to do the work behind it. Because even with the upcoming film Tenet, it's based on like a theory based on time travel again. So that's his thing to try to make it based on some type of like.
And even though this film is set in the future, it's still it's not futuristic problems per se. Like, okay, so they're dealing with a harvest, right? Plants are dying, the earth is dying, we're polluting. Right. So going forward, there's no more armies, there's no more militaries because everybody's just trying to survive. Right. The government is just trying to keep food on people's tables, and ironically,
so the farmers are the astronauts.
Yes, corn is one of the staples, and if you look at where we're at right now and where corn is,
corn is a staple of it right now.
Yeah,
I mean,
fuel,
that's the reason
food,
why we haven't starved at this point.
So I really loved how they went with the concept and really carried it forward.
Another one I can think of is iRobot. That's with Will Smith.
Will Smith.
Based in 2035, so that's coming up. That's
This one I really debated on including this one as well. It was in there, The Road.
Oh yeah, The Road. Yeah, The Road.
Reason
picking a depressing ass movie.
Well, because I look at the current. I mean,
Children of Men, The Road.
I look at the current situation, the client, and you know how I love The Road because it really gives you a great example of how we are as humanity. Like we fraction off. No one trusts one another.
Dude, we will fall apart as like if everything goes bad. We will fall apart.
And regardless of where you go, there's like everything's desolate.
Look at the toilet paper shortage.
Yeah, exactly. If that doesn't give you an example.
Oh my God, we might have to stay home for a couple of weeks. Buy all the toilet paper.
Yeah, and I am gonna hoard as much toilet paper as possible.
I have so much toilet paper. I am now your king.
Yeah. Oh, we're gonna be quarantined? Well, I need to buy bottled water. I have no idea why.
I have no idea why the water's still running.
Yeah, like that didn't even.
It wasn't contaminated.
Yeah, I'm like, we're not in Detroit.
Flint, Michigan, sir.
No, it's not like we had polluted water where we had a storm where it knocked out the water supply or something. No, it's like we're gonna be quarantined when the pandemic happened. Toilet paper and water because we're gonna be peeing, and apparently when you pee, you gotta wipe. I don't know.
We're gonna drink all the water, and then that water's gonna have to go somewhere. So we need the toilet paper.
So, yeah, so that's why. No, it gives a great example. The reason I didn't put it on there is because it's so slow. That is one of the slowest movies.
Some of the depressing picks that you have.
Well, Humanity depresses me.
All right. All right, take us home.
Hey guys, tell us your top 5. That maybe there's a film that we missed. I'm hoping that you do have something because his picks were not really that good. His picks were more sci-fi related.
Mine were future.
Mine were well. It doesn't mean sci-fi doesn't necessarily mean future. Mine were more of introspect, humanity, who we are, who I am, who are you,
and depressing as hell.
So let us know what your top 5 is. As always, don't forget to like us, follow us, do all that good stuff to us.
Yeah, definitely. Don't try to rationalize Back to the Future as a future.
No, it's not. It's not.
It's not. Because I can feel like they're going to be like, well, it's the future of 1957? 1955. Sorry, I got it wrong. Don't roast me in the comments. It's the future of 1955. That's not what we're talking about.
No.
All right, so for Manny, who wasn't here for this top 5, and yes, I did not do the top 5 that you suggested, I'm Terrence.
I'm Art.
You guys take care. Oh, real quick, if you're still here, because we do these into the video little blooper things. If you're still here, look down. There's a link here for Patreon. If you guys like the show, please give us money. We'll take a penny. We'll take a nickel. We'll take a dime. We'll take $1. We have some stuff on there that we're giving away on Patreon if you do contribute, because trust me, we need help. We want to buy new equipment, and we need an editor. Somebody who doesn't have to stay up in the middle of the night, or they don't have to stay up in the middle, but I won't have to do it. So please, down patreon.com/thegoods. It's in the link. Please do it. We appreciate it.